Let's understand the concepts of true positive, true negative, false positive, and false negative with a simple example. Imagine our model is designed to identify whether an image is of a person or not a person. So here you can see that this is of a person and this image is not of a person, it's of a chick. This is of a koala, it's again not of a person, and this is of a person. So this is what we are able to predict, our predictions based on what we are seeing. Now let's see what the model predicts. Okay, the model is saying this image belongs to a person, not a person. Yeah, it is. The model correctly identifies that the second image is not of a person. The model identifies the third image as it belongs to a person, which is wrong. And it says that it doesn't belong to a person, which is wrong prediction. So So these are based on what the model predicts. Okay. So when we say true positive, true negative, yeah, false negative. So the word negative, we mean the instance of a situation. Like here we are talking about a binary classification model. For example, in this case, we have only two instances, whether the image belongs to a person or not a person. Second example, like spam email classification, like whether the email is a spam or not spam. Similarly, disease identification, whether the person is having a disease or not having a disease, means he's healthy. So these are called binary classification. So in such cases, the instances can either be positive or negative. Positive instance means whether the person is diseased, that is positive. Like person is COVID positive means he has the disease. Person is COVID negative means he doesn't have the disease. Okay, so same here also. The we here our task is to identify, yeah, classify images whether they belong to person or not. So the positive instance would be it belongs to the person category, the image, and the negative instance is it doesn't belong to that person. Okay, so these are what the model identifies based on uh, what the model classifies based on images. So positive, why it's saying positive? Because the model identified the image as positive. Not positive, not a person, so it's negative. Positive, because the model identifies the image as a positive instance. Yeah, it belongs. But we are seeing with respect to, yeah, from the view of model. Okay, and this is negative. From model's point of view, it is not a person. That's why it is negative. So true, the label true means the model correctly identified. Here also the model correctly identified that it is not a person, that's why true. Here the model incorrectly identified that it belongs to a person, that's why it is false. And here also the label false indicates that the model incorrectly identified a positive instance as negative. Positive instance means although it belongs to a person, but it has recognized it as not person. That's why it is negative, and it is incorrect prediction. That's why we have written false. So coming to the definition part, true positive means the model correctly predicts positive instance as positive. Okay, like here the model predicts the image is a person, and indeed it is a person. True negative, the model correctly predicts negative instance, means it is a negative instance. It has, and the model also predicted a negative instance as negative. Yeah, it is not a person. Okay, like here you can see that the chick is correctly recognized as not person. Here false positive means the model incorrectly predicted a negative instance. Negative instance, why it is a negative instance? Because we are seeing uh, a task is to classify or recognize person. Okay, so it is a negative instance because it doesn't belong to a person. Okay, so the model incorrectly predicts a negative instance as positive. Okay, that's why incorrect, it is an incorrect prediction, that's why we have written false. And lastly, not person, it's a positive instance. That's what we are looking for. It contains a person, but the model identified it as not person. That's why we are writing false because it is an incorrect prediction, and negative because it has identified a negative instance.